For today's video, we got some more Fortnite, and in this one I'm going to be sharing with you all some basic tips when it comes to the new Survive the Holidays event. Before we get started, if there's any tips that I didn't mention that you think are useful, be sure to let us know in the comments below. And like always, if it's a really good one, I'll pin it at the top so everybody else can see. The first tip I want to go over is how you can skip the days during the Survive the Storm. Now for those who don't know, once you place your generator or upgrade it, if you stay at that generator and face it, you'll see an option that says vote to skip days. The next tip we're going to go over is how to find the frozen thing in the ice, which is one of the quests you'll have to complete. Now in order to find the troll sickle, you're going to have to play the Survive the Storm event. It doesn't matter whether it's 3 days or 7 days. And it's going to be located towards the east of the main house. If you're starting at the main house, you're going to have to go about a block or so towards the east. You'll see this frozen lake in the ground, and all you have to do is walk up to the troll that you see frozen in the lake. Now the next tip I want to go over is the present drop quest, and this is a continuous quest, as in you'll be able to complete it over and over again, and every time you complete it you're going to get 100 tickets, and you'll also get some items to drop right after you complete it. Anyways, this side mission is very similar to the drone salvage side mission. If you hear Lars playing some Christmas music very loud, that means he's on his way. So that's one way you can tell when the present drop side mission is about to start. And as soon as it drops, all you have to do is defend it for 1 minute and 30 seconds. And speaking of presents, be sure to open up the presents that are located underneath Christmas trees around the map. And some of the items you can get from these presents are nuts and bolts, active power cells, ammo, and weapons. And not only do you get these items every time you open up a present, but everybody in your team is going to get items as well. So if you notice that you were getting nuts and bolts or weapons out of the blue, it's because somebody in your team opened a present that was underneath the Christmas tree. For those of you who played Soldier, you may have already noticed that the mechanics for throwing grenades are slightly different. But for those who haven't noticed, there's basically a new option where you can show the trajectory of your grenade. And in order to show the trajectory, all you have to do is hold down the grenade button. And for those who want to throw it without showing the trajectory, all you have to do is tap the grenade button. As for the next tip, this one has to do with the quest where you have to kill 50 mist monsters using vacuum tube weapons. The only thing I wanted to point out is that you don't actually have to kill the mist monster with your vacuum tube weapon. All you have to do is damage him with a vacuum tube weapon, and then you can finish him off with whatever weapon you prefer. So if you haven't fully upgraded your vacuum tube weapons yet and they don't do a whole lot of damage, then just try to damage them with the weapons, and then you can finish them off with whatever weapon you choose. I've mentioned this before a couple of times, but if you want to see the perks of all the heroes, all you have to do is check them out in your collections book. Since this Survive the Holidays event started, you're no longer going to be able to shoot down the anomalies, so you can go back to ignoring those like we used to. And the next tip I want to go over is in regards to the new mini bosses. Now there's a couple of different ways you can get mini bosses. One way is to look at the modifiers before you start a mission. If you look towards the left and you see epic mini boss in a place where modifiers used to be, that means there's going to be a mini boss in that mission. So that's one way you can get mini bosses. Another way is to do the Survive the Storm event. If you're doing a 3-day, they're only going to spawn on the 3rd day. If you do the 7-day, they're going to spawn on the 3rd and 7th day. And I believe they usually spawn around the 5.5 minute mark. A couple of other ways to tell if the mini boss has spawned in or not is, for one, you're going to hear a distinct noise letting you know that the mini boss has spawned in. Another way to tell if the mini boss has spawned is to look at your mini map. You're going to see this funky little purple spiral circle thing on your mini map. And you should also be able to see the mini boss's health bar in the top left, and directly below that you're going to see the modifiers that mini boss has. Now I tried to look for a complete list of all the mini boss modifiers, but I was unable to find any. As soon as I find them, I'll be sure to let you all know. It seems like building blocking and trap vulnerability, as well as tank and shielded, are probably some of the harder modifiers that I've come across so far. When it comes to trap vulnerability, I would recommend that you use ceiling traps because they can't destroy the ceilings, and with that modifier, traps do a lot more damage. Also, every time you kill a mini boss, you're going to get seasonal gold. So those are a couple of different ways on how to find mini bosses. And I also wanted to quickly show you all some of the items you're going to have to look out for while completing your holiday quest. For the Cold Miser quest, you're going to want to go to cities and destroy refrigerators. For the Fairy Tale of Homeland, you're going to have to collect books. For For the Festival of the Nights, you're going to have to place these trees. For the Fruitcake quest, you're going to have to destroy these trees. For the Jingle All the Way quest, you're going to have to collect these teddy bear looking gifts. For the Perfect Tree quest, you're going to have to destroy these trees. There's also a new mission called Spread the Joy, but it's exactly like Ride the Lightning. And for the Switchboard quest, you're going to have to look out for this traffic equipment. You can also find the switchboards by destroying these lights. But I would recommend that you go to the suburbs and look for these lights right here, because it seems like there's a lot more of these lights in the suburbs. And yeah, I think that about sums up all of the tips that I have for now. I know there's a couple of quests I didn't mention, but I believe those were like either the first or second quest. And I'm pretty sure most of y'all have completed those by now. So that about sums up all of the tips that I have for now. If there's any that I didn't mention that you think are useful, be sure to let us know in the comments below. I hope y'all found the video useful, and thanks for watching.